Greetings, salutations, and hello, scrappers and scrappettes. Just got back from a pickup, and these are the oldest Dell servers I have ever seen. They date from 1980 to 1990. I got a fantastic deal on them. The basic configuration looks the same to me as most other Dells that I've scrapped out for you. I'm dying to get at this motherboard and see what's in here. These are just really old. It's going to be interesting to see what the difference between these and some of the newers are. So this server is, what did you say, 1980? Wow, it's freaking old. 1 gigabyte of RAM. So this server was running on 5 gigabytes of RAM. Can you imagine such a thing? So, good for gold recovery. This is the best kind of RAM for gold recovery. You don't have to deal with a CPU chip here. You got a lot of stuff. So this particular unit is a Dell. Ooh, where are you? Come on. Power Edge 1850. Wow. I don't see a lot of difference right offhand as opposed to other Dell things that I have scrapped. But I am going to get these all done today. It says it's running a Xeon chip, so I'm in the process of getting a load of e-scrap ready to sell. And in addition to selling some e-scrap, I do want to get the store stocked up for the week. You can find my e-scrap available on eBay. Haha. D-scraps, e-scraps on eBay. It's under Connecticut band, CT band, instruments, and I've got an e-scrap department. So I'm posting this as a video because as I post this, I'm enjoying watching Shark Scrapper, Scrapping Irish, and a bunch of the other heavy hitters in this business do their Sunday afternoon live. I've got the closed captions on, but the weather outside is just, it's been dismal. So I'm probably going to do a series of videos on these older scrappers, on these older Dells, and then I'll put the cards and stuff available up for sale. So this is a slot processing card type thing, but you can put it right in with your memory. This is a slot processor here, but that's RAM straight out. It can go with its friends over there. Wow, that was easy. This is interesting. I would presume this is what would be categorized as a PCI riser card. Much different configuration than what I'm used to seeing. And again, I remind you guys, I am not a computer technician, nor do I pretend to be. I am a computer destruction technician. I scrap computers. D-scraps, E-scraps. Find me on TikTok and YouTube. I usually go live Sunday mornings if I have any material. This just fell into my lap today, which was really great. Now, this is ribbon wire, which means I should have gold pins here. Yep. So these you can put with your connector ends and board sort bisos. $2004, guys. Right there, 2004 this board's from. I'm expecting much higher gold content than what we see in some of the newer ones. I originally had thought to put these up for resale, but after researching eBay and finding nothing is selling from these for parts or anything else, I made the decision to go ahead and scrap them. And again, it's older technology. I have already researched the feasibility of reselling it, and it's not practical. It really isn't. So if I thought there was any resale to it, I would sell it. But it's running, my God, 1 gigabyte of RAM, 5 gigabits of RAM to run the whole computer. Yeah, no bueno. Let's see. Let me get this apart. I don't think there's any gold fingers on it. Gold fingers. Yeah, this is an interesting configuration. I've not seen this, but again, this is a much older computer, so not 100% sure what we're going to find here. I've got 8, I think I've got 8 of these assorted older things to scrap. Now, this is gold flashing here. This should be loaded with gold pins. Should be. And I'm actually in the process of trying to save 3,000 pounds so the refiner will take my boards. I don't know how that's all going to go. Yeah. So that's going to go in with gold bearing materials. Whenever you see something that looks like this, check the bottom. A lot of gold there. Beautiful, beautiful gold pins. Okay, so wow, look at that. And they fell right out of there. So that goes into its own little processing bucket. Look at that. Great gold recovery there. And pretty easy to actually take apart. So, yeah. So they function like a backplane board. Something gold goes into something gold. But because of the age of this server, that's going to be a higher quality gold. Okay. That's awesome. That's really a cool find. The weather's been on and off all day. Looks like everybody got their Memorial Day parades, and that's good. I'm glad for that. So already I see higher quality gold coming out of this computer. Okay. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. These gold pins, amazing. Definitely better for gold content in this older board. Look at that. I usually just save those by the jug, and then I just sell the jug. Sometimes when somebody buys a big e-scrap order from me out of my eBay store, or even one of my friends here on TikTok, I'll chuck some extra materials into the order. I do sell e-scrap by the pound. Part of why I do this, well, number one, I am a recycler. I don't want this garbage in the landfill. Always make sure you get the battery off, guys. Okay. I already took the power supplies out. Nothing really different there. They are gold pinned and brass pinned. Worth going after the gold and brass, but this thing is honking heavy. Alright, where to next? Even this board. That board's got gold flashing. Look at that. Can you see that? Let me see if I gotta move over a little bit here. It's over just a hair. Okay. Yeah, usually when I do my live, I can see, but right now I'm watching Scrapping Irish's live. And this is what I expected. This is a pinned CPU. Much better for gold recovery. See the pins? Okay. And it's got a copper heatsink. This is an old Xeon chip. This is a copper aluminum heatsink. They sell as a copper aluminum heatsink for about 10 to 20 cents a pound. I've got a whole bunch of these that I try to get the copper if I can. You just break these fins off and you can knock that block of copper off. If you watched my video from this morning, you'll see I did. I've got quite a few of those in the works. I'm not in a position where I have to rush to sell stuff, which is comforting. Because I can process them on my own time. And it is my opinion that all of these gold bearing boards and things, I think they're going to go up in value. And I'm saving a lot of the older boards. I do have a steady, I have a steady business where I ship things out. And I have a lot of things that I sell. And if boards are expensive to sell, there's no way around it. So again, pinned CPU. If you were grading this to sell to an online seller, this would be a pinned CPU with metal back. The ones with no metal back sell for quite a bit more. And again, copper aluminum heatsink, something you might want to process a little further. Scrapyard paste squid for them. Okay, wow, this is a beautiful board. Guys, I can see a lot of gold here. This is a dual plastic socket motherboard. Actually, it's a small socket motherboard because you can't fit a quarter in there. So a dual plastic server motherboard. That's if you're selling to an online refiner. That's how they will grade that. Been doing this a long time, guys. I'm really good at grading boards. And I'm hoping to share some of that knowledge with all of you. I can already tell you this is a board I will put aside for the gold refiner. It's not great, but it's not bad. Trouble with these server boards, sometimes there's a lot of crap on it. So if I was selling this to like one of you for gold refining, I'd take all that off. I'd process it a little further. You got to get these brackets off when you do servers because it's anchored to a metal plate underneath. And to free that, you have to you got to get the bracket off. Also, if you're going to sell this board to a gold refiner as opposed to a I don't know, Board Sword or some other online buyer, they're going to want that off of there. I've got to get, in this case, I've got to get it out because on these kind of boards, that's holding it to a metal bracket underneath, and if I don't take it off, I don't take this bracket off, I can't free the board. That's not true on every server, just some of them. I actually try to get the bracket off. It's wasted weight when you ship, so it costs you more to ship it because it's got wasted weight in it, so why do that? In my opinion, of course, just like everything else. I will post this video on both my TikTok channel and my YouTube channel. I think it's going to wind up being on YouTube because of length. TikTok kind of cuts you off at like an hour. And if I go over, then I can't put it on TikTok. I like to try to put these up on YouTube. They are instructional. They're intended to be. And I think it's a good resource for you guys. If you're in the Connecticut area, you need a pickup of e-waste on your garage. I work with schools. I work with electronics recyclers. Anybody who's drowning in e-scrap calls me to come get it. Wait till you see what comes down the pike this summer with the i10s. Microsoft no longer supporting Windows 10. Gonna be up to proverbial asses in e-scrap. Yeah. They're not going to provide the support anymore, so if you get a glitch or you get a bug in your Windows 10 system, there's going to be no support to fix that. So that's going to force a lot of schools and stuff to upgrade over the summer. And, I think there's going to be a lot of those small form computers that go up for sale or recovery or whatever it is. They're not very good unless they have an iCore chip in them. The board is not very good. There's not a lot of components in there. I wouldn't, those small form computers are about yay by yay. I wouldn't spend the money to buy those for recycling. They're not worth it. Okay. What's under here? I'm hoping you guys can see this. I don't know if you can. Okay. It's probably just on the periphery of where you can see. This is a number 10 Torx screwdriver. Like I said, I have boxes of E-scrap down in the basement. All sorted, all graded. I can send it off to my buyer if I need to, or if I have enough and it's of any quality for my friends here who gold refine, I'll put it up for sale in the eBay store. So this is ribbon wire, and I'm surprised there's no gold pins there. That's a surprise. That can just go with your low-grade wire. There's no gold pins. That's a surprise. Usually ribbon wire is loaded with gold pins. Huh. Huh. She said. Yeah, so I was watching Scrapping Irish and Shark Scrapper. I was watching their live conversation today. Was about copper. Should I hold? Should I sell? Where do I get rid of my really good copper without getting ripped off? And some good information. I'm in a position where I don't have to sell it. The hard thing is finding a really reliable yard that's going to pay you fairly for what you got. Yeah. That has been nothing but a frustration lately. In the scrap yards, they like to do a fast turnover, you know. But their fast turnover, they turn it over quickly just trying to make a buck or two. And unfortunately, they make it on the backs of people like me who depend on being paid a fair price. And if you complain and itchy bee too much, you're going to get thrown out of the scrap yard. So just, I would say before you let them take it, talk to the scale boss and check the weights and check what you're going to be paid. Have it sorted, and it's important you know what you're bringing. You have to know the difference between low-grade wire, high-grade wire, extruded aluminum, dirty aluminum. You got to really be aware of all that, and you got to have everything sorted, because otherwise they're going to throw it in the bin and, you know, grade it at the lowest grade possible. That's just what they do. Okay, this is a backplane board. Interesting, I've not seen a backplane board designed like this. This is all gold flashing, but to get at this you have to shred the board. Not you and I, that's for a refiner to do, guys. Even says backplane right on it. Backplane. This is going to be another ribbon wire. Because this is on a backplane, I'll expect gold pins here. I've got them here. Yeah. So this can clip this off and put that in with your gold pin connector ends, and then throw the wire into low-grade boards. Low-grade wire. Okay. Get this off of here. Oh, I've got to get this screw off. Okay. You know, like I said, I opted to do this as a video because 4 of the heavy hitters are all on their live scrap, live live stream right now, which I'm watching. I've got the captions running. And, that's kind of an every Sunday afternoon gig. So by putting this up as a video, I can post it and you guys can watch it at your leisure. And let's see if we get gold pins are here or not. I don't depopulate my boards for two reasons. Number one, if I'm going to sell it to a refiner, I want maximum recovery. And number two, if one of my TikTok or YouTube people decides they want to buy this, or any other board that I sell, if I depopulate it, I'm ripping them off, and I won't do that. I mean, they're buying it because they want to recover the gold, right? So, if I've already taken the good components, then I'm not a very reputable seller. And I won't do that. What I do is I put the stuff up for sale. It hangs around for a couple of weeks. Backplane board, there's gold pins, chips, flat packs, tantalums. This is a good board. A lot of gold flashing. Awesome gold recovery for a refiner. Gold pins here. Flip it over. More gold pins, gold flashing, and gold pins here. That will go in with my backplane boards. This should have gold pins under it. I need channel grip pliers and they're downstairs. So this is a Dell backplane board from a 1980 server. That'll go with my backplane boards. I'll sell that as a backplane board. Now this is that PCI card, or what I think is a PCI card. 2004. Wow. Older the golder. This has been an interesting scrap. I'm still going to wind up with a dual plastic socket, small socket motherboard. They won't grade it any differently for age. That's where sometimes you better go into like a refiner. But the refiner's going to want 3,000 pounds, guys. You know. If you're me and you scrap through as much stuff a week as I do, that's not an unrealistic goal. I haven't decided if the refiner is going to be the way to go or not. He is local, so it's something I could drive out, see what he's going to offer me, what he has to say, and if it's worth me doing as opposed to just selling elsewhere. This is a gold banded. Okay, maybe this is a Logic card. It says Logic. It's a gold banded BGA. There's another good processing chip of some type. Should be gold in here. Should be gold here. It's a riser. It's a riser card. It says riser on it. There's not a lot of gold edging on it though, which I'm surprised. Wow, look at the back. Back is good as good as the front. So this will sell as a high grade peripheral board. I lied, the back is not as good as the front. It's the back. That's the front. Yeah, so this will sell as a high-grade peripheral board. Peripheral boards are anything that's not a motherboard. This is aluminum. That'll go in with my clean aluminum. Alright. Keep digging. And again, this is a Dell PowerEdge 1850, and it's old as. That's an old board, I'll tell you. This, if get the metal off, otherwise they're going to downgrade it to what we call IRD light if it has a little bit of metal. That's painted aluminum, guys. Keep it sorted separately. Most yards require it be separated from clean aluminum. But you gotta get the, some yards will sell these as what they call clips. I always take these off because it makes the board look a lot better to the buyer. Better to the buyer. Everything's about making it look good to your buyer. As far as putting this side by side by a more recent or more current Dell motherboard, The only thing I see is some higher quality gold pins and maybe a little bit more in the way of gold pins. The overall board itself is set up about the same, small socket, dual plastic motherboard, server motherboards are usually pretty good over here with gold. That's gold flashing. They all have a lot of these aluminum capacitors on it, kind of rubbishy. If I was selling to somebody who was going to buy the board for me for gold refining, I would clean those off. But if I'm going to sell it to a refiner or somebody else who's just buying it as a board, I'm not going to bother. They weigh nothing. You know, it doesn't really matter. These fans have no resale, guys. Just chuck them in with your shred. They got nice copper motors in them, but again, there's just no resale. And I've got to get this out because I can't free the board unless I get these fans out of the way. So let's see. Boy, this is an oldie, I'll tell you. It's cool. I'll probably put these up as individual videos on each one of these older servers. Just one at a time or something. I don't want to do a marathon. I want to try to keep it under an hour so that I can post it on TikTok. I don't mind doing a marathon when I can actually go live. That's fine. I don't mind doing that at all. That's fun, actually. It's been a long day. I'm tired. An hour is plenty for me today. Now this doesn't want to come out. Probably something stuck holding it in place. CD drive or some such thing. Let's see if I can get that out. There we go. Yeah, because I'm going to definitely need the room to free this board. Free the board. A lot of gold here, whatever this is. Probably a CD drive. Definitely go after that. Let's see if we can get that out. Yeah. Patrick William put up a video about these the other day. He found more gold than I knew existed. This is a good board for gold recovery. So this one I will take apart and I will save the board because of the gold pins. The newer ones are not so great. Yeah, that one's worth saving. I can sell them as media drives, which I often do, but that particular one we're gonna keep that one for ourselves. All right, now this has a lot more gadgets and levers than a lot of other boards I've seen. I gotta go looking now to see what I've missed and why I can't get the board free. Aha. These riser bars have to be freed because, again, it's holding the board in place. They just twist off. They look scary, but they're really not. That's these things right here. If you can see these or not. They're way over here in the corner. They're like straight up and down posts. A little bit cramped for space, guys. I'm sorry. They just unscrew. But again, you've got to get them. You got to get them off because they're holding the riser in place. There you go. There's that one. They're holding the board to the frame, and that one. Okay, the board is still not free. Why are you still giving me a hard time, you pain in the ass board? Just a little peripheral board, nothing big. Okay. I can tell it's got to come this way. See, there's a big hole here, so this board has to come towards me. There we go. Just like that. By the way, guys, be careful. Boards are really, really super sharp. Come on, Mama. It's free. I just got to work it loose. Work you loose, kids. I'll work it loose without cutting myself. I want to see what's on the back of this before I cut the video off. Just might have a little more space, that's all. There you go. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think it's free. It just wants to make an arse of me on camera, huh? Come on. There you go. Little Godzilla action here. Alright, so close-up wise, this section of the board, very nice, gold flashing. Great gold pins there. Gold band crystal oscillator. I may or may not be able to get this off. I think it's soldered to the board. These are voltage regulators. I'll leave those. Check the back. I would say it's about what I expect to find on a more current version of this board. Any gold recovery that's good to be gotten from this board is going to be gotten by a refiner who shreds the board down. So that's the back. Not bad. You know, good gold refining for the buyer. But it's got to be refined. There's not a lot here to pick off. I mean, these are good. These are all things that are good if you're going to depopulate the board and, you know, go after chips and stuff. Yeah, there's a lot there. I don't think it's cost effective, though. I really don't. I mean, you'd have to have gotten the board for free and air chisel it and then just sell the board as a depopulated board to a refiner. A lot of people do that. So again, this was a small dual socket plastic server motherboard. All right. 1980, good gold recovery there. Not at our level though. That's going to be good gold recovery for whoever buys the board and refines it. They put it through a shredder, guys, and then they treat it with all different chemicals. And in doing so, they get the copper, the gold, aluminum, palladium out of that heavy green board. So that's really where they make their money. All right, so again, this was in 1980s Dell PowerEdge 1850. All right, signing off. See you on the next one. I've got a few more of these vintage boards to do, and I'll be doing those for you. Bye-bye.